Hey guys, how you doing? Thanks for coming back, and thanks for in mornings. Yeah, I mean, I just kind of slowly acquired the gear. It takes a while, you know. Just kind of working on this kick. I was sitting here, kind of troubleshooting why we had that kind of double slapback delay. I don't know how I was getting two of the stuff out to you over the broadcast, but I'll still have to figure that one out. However, I started playing around with kick, and I'm like, wait a second. I should probably start the live stream because I'm sitting here playing with it. So yeah, playing around with kick, which is the Soyuz 023, going into 76A, and then the EQPA with a big boost. That's compressing before EQ on this one just because I'm doing a big boost. So the problem I'm getting is well, I don't want to clip the converters on the way back in. I could just see it like messes with the volume of the dry, I believe. I really wish it didn't mess with the volume of the dry. Because there it only messes with the it only adjusts the volume of the return. So in order to, like, I don't want to clip the output like going out to an EQ and coming back. I have to feed it less because I know I'm just going to boost it on the way back and when I have extra headroom, right? But then when I do the wet dry mix, then my dry is super low because it's also getting turned down. So I don't know if that's just something on purpose or maybe that's a bug or something, but so what I'm trying to do, I'm thinking maybe I'll just send it and then attenuate it down on the 76A. So I'm just trying to find like a kind of an even spot just so I can compare these. It's just kind of like a fair comparison. I don't know. It's kind of hard to match up, I guess, for whatever reason. Let's have a listen and the mix. I have this bust together just so that I can use this other mic if I want to. This EQ is off, so in fact I even had a little bit of room on the slider here, so. And as I'm doing this, I'm kind of looking over at the converters, so I'm adjusting gain, looking at the converters, so it's all about gain staging really to get this right. So this is just a kick mic and overheads. Oh, I guess I gotta put the lens back on the camera back there, but it's just a kick mic and overheads. That's a pretty cool sound. So two mics really, just Lewitt LCT 640TS spaced overhead, and then a Soyuz 023 bomblet on kick out. Okay, just gonna want to loop this here, but I gotta go fix that camera, so I'll be right back. Okay, so we got the camera set back up. I kind of destroyed our our setup from this morning sound check because I need to take a picture for the thumbnail, but I'll have to set that back up again. It's almost blocking, but you can kind of see the overhead mic above the tom. But they're actually, the one mic's kind of blocking the other, but it's there. There's two mics there, and you can see the Soyuz there out in front of the kick. So, yeah, I'm not sure why we were getting the double playback thing. I did a test with a mic. I could only make it sound one time, but so yeah, I feel like if I enable software monitoring, it should work. And I've gotten it to where people don't get any sound if I don't do it, but then if I enable software monitoring, I get doubling. I don't know what's going on. I really don't. Okay. So one thing I wanted to try is using WT-72s for the Lewitt fronts. So instead of the Cappy 312 Platinum, we'll do the WT-72s and see kind of if there's any added kind of thickness there, but also I just happened to kind of notice that there's the same amount of gain available, so I can actually match the gain, I think. Yeah, 32 and 32. So I think if I pad the mic down, then I use the same one here and here. 20, 24, 28, 32. Yeah, it's like the first common denominator between these two preamps is 32 dB of gain. Just trying to see if I can do it here. Okay, flip off the Soyuz. Let that dissipate a little bit. Let the other ones dissipate. These are the backs. I probably am okay, but I'll go ahead and cut that as well, just to make sure. Let's see here, normal, mic. Okay. We'll do this and this. Take the kick and put it into, do maybe the VP 25, I think. I have a feeling this is either going to work or be a disaster because I had the pad, pretty significant pad going on that kick mic, but we'll see. So now I actually need to run a different line for the fronts and set up the mic as well. So how's everybody doing? Let me go to the other room and set up the mics. Yeah, I wish you guys could give me a hand. That'd be super cool. 3, 3, 4, 3, 4. But we want to go to the WT72. WT72. Three, 4, preamp in, preamp out into DAW 3, snake 4 into preamp, preamp out into input 4. So 3 and input 4. So what we're dealing with is basically 4 channels for the 2 overheads. We have basically a microphone that has 2 capsules in it. So 1 channel is for the front, 1 channel is for the back, and I'm using 2 pairs of preamps, the matched pair for the front and a matched pair for the back. I don't have 4 the same, so that's why I'm kind of like doing this weird thing. But a lot of times you just use this mic for like vocals. You can just put it up and just use, a pair of preamps is a lot more common than having 4 matched preamps. That's why it's a little more difficult. Hey Curtis, thanks man. So yeah, that's kind of what we're doing. Okay, I don't have 4 matched preamps, but this is now rigged for the front. Now that 47 out front, I could record that. That was in Snake 2. That can go into just do preamp 2, I guess. Nothing's really getting used. How about preamp 5? That'll work. No, 6. Let's do 6. No Phantom. Okay, U47. This is actually an Omni now. I scooted it out a little bit. And can just go to drums at this point, not kick. So like a kick. This is like a kick bus here. I didn't like it as much as the Soyuz. I thought that it would kill the Soyuz, but man, that little bomblet's like a force to be reckoned with for sure. I did not expect that. Maybe you just haven't given it enough chances, but man. Okay, so there were 47 over here. And then I just gotta flip on the mics. Just making sure I know what I'm flipping on before I flip on Phantom is all, Okay. Wow. I wonder where that noise is coming from. The question is why can I even hear it? Because there shouldn't be anything on. Computer out 1, 2. Is it the 903s? Yes. Okay. It's the old 903s. Well, camera's not even on them right now, but this old thing is understandably a little noisy, but the pair of 903s here, And it's possibly this is generating the noise too. It's really why do I hear myself? Hey, out 3 and 4. Hey, check, check. Okay, I don't know where this doubling is coming from. Check. 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 That's really interesting. So I have something being like half normal to 3-4. Ah, I see. So I think what's happening is this is acting as an input for outboard, but what I did though is I started using this as a input for mics. So what I'll do is instead of 3 it'll be 11 and 12. 3, 4, 11, 12 respectively. 11, 12, 11, 12. Okay, now I don't have a doubling anymore. Because now 3, 4 is just outboard. Check. Okay. I think that solved it. Okay. Man, that sounds good. So, Phantom, mic, polarity normal. Two, 32. Okay, so that should be matched front and back. Let's just hope that the pad on the mic is enough. So we'll see. Soyuz 023. No idea what this is gonna do. Gain could be way off, but let's find out. just turn off the effects for now. Okay. Yep, that's too much gain. I'll just pad that down on the kick. Let's check out these overheads. One thing is just to see like how many dB the back of the mic is, in the difference basically. So yeah, like 6 dB maybe. And when I flip the polarity like this, what we're getting is basically a figure 8. So we have both mics on, positive polarity on both sides. That's just an omni. And then negative on the back. Think of like a ribbon mic, and then we have figure 8. So just by using 2 faders and a polarity flip, we can create all sorts of polar patterns. And we have a plugin as well that is by Lewitt. It's actually pretty cool. It's more of a visual thing that's handy. And you can actually, visualize what you're doing. And for that, we would have to pan one left, pan one right. Given that I have 2 mics here, I'm just going to use the faders and kind of find my polar pattern. But one thought that I had was maybe play around and see if I can, like, maybe a Glenn Johns on that side, right-hand mic next to the floor tom, and then kind of be able to dial in and out, like, elements of the kit that I want, Yeah, so it's like 6 dB, but it's got to come down. 20. Oh, what is this? 19. So this preamp goes by 3 dB, and this goes by 4 dB. So what's this? 3, 6, 3, 6, and then this is what, 4? So this is 8. 8 down. That was 6 down. So 6 down plus a little smidge off the top, and there we go. We'll count that as matched. What's also important is that these are not flipped. So coming in, if I have both faders up, it'll be omni. If I flip this, then we'll get figure 8. So we could, in like real time, actually dial in a polar pattern from the control room if we wanted to. Flip polarity here. Well, let's say we have a mic out there. We could, we could have this fader all the way down, and based on what polar pattern we want, we could turn the back of the mic on and pull the gain up for the back of the mic. And we flip polarity, then all of a sudden we have figure 8. If we basically match the gain with the front, we have omni. So it's pretty cool. And dialing it back down by about 10 dB, we get basically a wide cardioid or sub-cardioid. And then if we flip polarity, then we have a hypercardioid. So it's like the in-between. So we have figure 8, hypercardioid, cardioid, which is off, subcardioid, omni. Not that made any sense, but so the two capsules are they're they're basically pointed up and down. So I have actually two mics in there, two overheads. So if you look at that one that's towards the top of the screen there, that's facing down. And I know that seems a little counterintuitive because if you have two mics, why not face them left and right? However, if you think about it, like a paddle for a canoe going through water, it makes the most sense if you want to catch the water to actually have your paddle flat. Now you could take the paddle and slice the water, right? And then there's no resistance. However, if you keep your paddle flat, you can actually grip the water and push, right? So that's what we're doing is, I could have the stereo microphone look left to right. However, the transients would not be captured, just like we're not able to capture the resistance of water using a paddle. So, it'd be fine for a room mic to look left and right. We don't necessarily need transients in a room mic, so we just want like a gushy sound and we're going to compress it anyhow. But for this, we need transients. And so, given that we have a pair, what we're kind of doing is just exploring the polar patterns in a pair of mics. And it just so happens to be two channels. It sounds complicated, but we're just using a pair of mics. Okay, that's all we're doing. So, go back to this. Oh yeah, we didn't hear the Omni yet. Wow, that sounds good. That sounds really cool. What was that going into? Right. Okay. BP28. We'll give it a little more. Tell you what, we'll give it more on the front end. Okay. Okay, we still gotta check this Soyuz to see because I applied the pad. Oh yeah, thanks, Rick. Yeah, I was looking at those OM5 and OM7s. I don't know how I missed that mic. It's almost like the Mandela effect where you think the FedEx logo is green and then it's like, no, it's been orange all along. And it's like, how did I miss this mic? Like, it's been around forever and I don't know why I didn't know about that mic, but it's like, so, you know, was the logo orange or green? you know, how did I miss this? It must have been under my nose the whole time. Okay, let's check this out and see how our gain is doing on these mics. Okay, let's see what we got here. All right, perfect. Very nice. Oh, look at that. We got some crunch going on here. You see that right there? That's, let's see if we can... No? Ah, there we go. You can see it right there, a little bit of crunch. Yep, sure enough. Okay. Of course, that's kind of going through some stuff. Let's take that out. So, I think I discovered something that that I haven't known before, and like literally, like I've had this mic for a couple years. I just figured this out. This mic doesn't like the pad when used for this application. This sounds really great, and I think there's a pad you can put on there. I think it sounds actually really nice pushed. Like I have it padded here, and I think what it's doing is pushing the electronics of the mic. The Soyuz 13s, you know, little small diaphragms are actually kind of a large. They're like a medium diaphragm actually. They sound great on toms, and you know, I think it's because it's like right on the edge of like what the mic can handle, and it's kind of overdriving just a touch. I mean, listen to this. Yeah. So my previous live stream a couple days ago was kind of breaking down some recordings from a band called Hustle Souls here in the studio. It's a live in studio recording, and yeah, our friend Rick brought up the Audix OM7, OM5, stuff like that. Yeah, you know, we're all kind of tossing in the hat as far as what we like to use, and I've never actually used one of those, but I, you know, at the time I was using actually the 640 to adjust the polar pattern. It worked beautifully actually. So if you want to see this mic in a vocal application on a drummer that sings, we can actually cancel out the snare or you know, we can actually adjust the polar pattern to tune the null to go where we want it to go, and it worked beautifully, I thought. Man, that sounds good. That's with nothing on it. I mean, wow. Like, I don't really think it needs EQ at this point. And the compressor's kind of killing it. Cool. That actually sounds really nice. Okay, that doesn't need a whole lot, really, but let's see how these overheads do. Wow, we are still pretty hot. Okay, so we'll do what? -3, -3. -3. I was +1 over here and I compensate. I don't know. I don't know anymore. Okay, so front, back. Cool. Yeah, it might be fun. We're coming out of, oh, right, okay. Well, 3/4 I'm using 7. Six. I'm not going to worry about it right now. Okay, let's see what we get. Okay, looking pretty good. Overhead's looking a lot better. Okay, I guess we could bust these together to really make it help it make more sense, I guess, to everybody. So the front of the mic gets panned left, the back of the mic gets panned right, and then here is the we can call this overhead right. And then basically with that panning, it's just telling the plugin which one is which, and then you basically select what the polar pattern is that you want. I think it was 6 dB, so let's see. The back was 6 dB lower. Just the Okay, how do I tell it to give me the gain? Why isn't it showing it? Front, back. Okay. Pin that. Pin that. Okay, so the back needs to come up like 3 dB. That's what it is. Okay, now zero these out. Hard pan left, right for the plugin. Bust these together. Add the Lewitt. So left, right is just code for front, back, and then it goes to this. This is called overhead. Okay, yeah, overhead left. and we could pin that, and then overhead right, we could pin that. So now we have our two overheads, left and right, and we can control the polar pattern of them both. And then we need to pan these, because these are just mono. Like, this makes it mono. So let's see, let's do like, yeah, we could do like left 50 and right 50, I guess. Maybe we'll do like 70, I think. So that right there is subcardioid, or wide cardioid. I think I'm maybe antiquated in saying subcardioid, because I realize nobody really uses that. You know, and it's like one of those things, bidirectional, nobody says that. They say figure 8, unidirectional, they say cardioid. Okay, here is a hypercardioid. Yeah, we can hear the mic change flavors. Very interesting. That's pretty interesting. It's almost like it's noisier on the left, which kind of makes sense, actually. It's more the room is on that side. I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, I like Studio One a lot. You know, I've used a little bit of everything, to be honest. I've used Ableton Live. I've used Propellerhead's Reason. I've used Logic. I've gone to Logic and kind of left Logic twice now. And Reaper is, but you know, Reaper, I just couldn't, like, my eyes got so confused on what I was looking at. I mean, the folder track kind of drove me nuts, and then just visually, I just could not figure out where to look and what was going on. And something about Studio One, I mean, visually, I know kind of where to look. I'm not confused. But the biggest thing was the pipeline and just being able to, you know, load in pictures of stuff, you know? I mean, it's just so cool. So I don't know what I just screwed with there. But yeah, so we have two Lewitts. What's interesting is we can go backwards on these. So we actually could okay, so this graphic happens just to be pointing down when it's actually the opposite. Because cardioid polar pattern means that they're looking down at the kit. So just realize that this is actually pointing up and away. I'm not sure why it's so much more roomier on the left. That's pretty odd. Now, on axis, that was totally off axis. You know, we could maybe take that down. No, it's cheating, but, you know, we'll take that down. Let me make sure, there are some things that kind of drive me nuts. Like, it just seems like every time I open the program, I have to like create new inputs. I just wish that they were just there. I don't know. I just feel like I'm always creating an input or something, and I know I can save stuff. I know I can do that, but it just seems to be coming back. I don't know why it keeps coming back, but I always have to add an input. Yeah, so we can use this as an effect. So let's see here. Okay, we'll call that matched right there. Just listening by ear, looking at the snare transient, we'll call that matched. So now we have overhead, overhead. So again, these are 2-channel mics, and we have them set up space pair. And based on the volume of the front channel, the back channel, we can actually change the polar pattern. We can do it with the fader, or we can hard pan and send it to their plugin, which allows us this cool slider and visual. So now we have overhead left, overhead right, and we can see how the polar pattern affects the sound of drum overheads, really. So again, this is totally like audio nerdery here. Thanks, Rick. This is really like high level audio nerdery here. It's like, is this really useful? And to be honest, like, yeah, in some situations it's extremely useful. Like that recording vocal behind a drum kit, which is nuts, but I was able to actually null out and pinpoint exactly where I needed that null, and I could slide the null to actually find parts of the kit that were best to null out. It's actually really helpful to be able to have this. And with the like the second order surround sound mics and stuff, you have 9 channels of audio, and you can do similar things. You can actually specify polar patterns after the fact, change the orientation, direction of the mic, change polar patterns, do similar things. Okay, so this is actually somewhat basic compared to where technology is actually kind of going right now. But for audio recording and overheads, this is like plenty, right? Okay, so that's cardioid. There's Omni. Here's figure 8. Just click on the little triangle. And here is pointing away from the kit. And here's Omni. Here's cardioid. So we can really hear how it is affecting the sound. But where I wanted to go with this today is to actually take and move, try maybe a Glenn Johns kind of thing, and get the mics closer and see what happens when we start moving the polar patterns when the mics are closer. Because at this point, it's just kind of a long distance thing. It's more of a tone thing, right? When we're changing all these things, it's more of a tone thing and a room balance versus direct sound thing. But I want to try it with closer mics and see what we get. And just kind of be able to hear the null shifting in and out, like on that floor tom, stuff like that. Um, I don't know that I have a cloud over the drum kit. You know, it's kind of the cloud is not actually positioned where it should be. It's a little bit behind, but yeah, it's close. here. So we have kick. We have overhead, the back, overhead, and the back. And you know, I'm kind of messing around with this Glenn Johns. To be honest, like the Glenn Johns, it's just a hard technique. Like the less gear you use, the more on point every single piece has to be, and it has to be perfectly placed and all that. And if you're in a small room, then it just complicates things because now you have two mics in very different locations around the room and around the drum kit. So, I mean, it's just somebody trying to make like tutorials. You know, I always set out to find easier ways to record better drum tracks. And, you know, Glenn Johns is actually kind of difficult. It's kind of easy, but it's always different. Like, you think you know what you're going to get, and then you do it, and it's like, whoa. Like, it sounds either kind of cool or, like, even crazier and weirder than it did before. You know, you just never quite know what you're going to get. Okay. Yeah, I was kind of concerned that it'd be too much volume on the mic. Looks like we're okay. Okay. Yeah, we'll start it there. Man, that sounds great. I have the drum bus compression going. Yes, no. No, I don't. Okay, so we gotta check what the phase is doing on this, because something's not quite right. Okay, so I think I like it better flipped, so that means I will flip the overheads instead. Yeah, okay. Oh, that's nice. Okay, I'm going to I don't know what you mean, Rick. You want me to double this 47, this Omni? What am I doing? Sound Radix, that's right. Sound Radix. The send does not move. The receive is the one that moves. Okay, let's check out these toms here. This is kind of the big question I've been wondering. That's pretty amazing. I can actually do everything but that tom. Pretty cool. So cardioid is let's see here. Where is the tom? I mean it's like right by there. So a wide cardioid would be really nice for that. But then we can see that a super cardioid facing back would effectively null out that tom, because the tom would be like right here. And then we also have like figure 8, which probably wouldn't work considering that it's, I mean, well, yeah, it would probably work, but not as well. So that's pretty cool. Overhead left. So I don't know, maybe somewhere in there. Yeah, as far as for the stream, you know, I have this. I have this going just to help boost it. Take that off and you can see my levels. I guess it's not doing a whole lot. Huh. But the successor's on. And I think I have the overheads. No, I don't. Those are not being compressed. And then this here. Wow, that snare. Rick, I don't totally understand. I mean, these mics, they can do Omni. That 47 can do cardioid and Omni, and then the Lewitts can do, any polar pattern. But this is sounding really nice. Just those overhead mics, so to speak. The Lewitt 640 on the side and on top in the Glen Johns. And so on the left side, kind of a wide cardioid, and right side even wider. I always enjoy the Omni version of mics. It just is always really nice. And see, what we're actually doing is we're using the polar pattern instead of EQ. We're using the polar pattern, and we're kind of taking down some of those low, muddy sounds on the right side. Yeah, seems familiar. Thanks for joining me, man. I haven't really done a whole lot of live broadcasts, and to be honest, there's so many cool ideas that I have for videos that a lot of times I just circle around and never really make a video because there's this idea, that idea, and then I end up kind of running around doing nothing. So I figured, you know what? No thinking. Let's just start doing stuff. So take the Lewitt, make it figure 8 on 2 channels. Yeah, so Rick, you just want basically a normal mid-side kind of thing where you have the side channel. Man, that sounds nice. Yeah, so now what we have is we have too much compression because we were using the kind of drum bus compression to kind of do a lot of the heavy lifting, so we got to kind of back it off because now we're kind of adding in some overheads with the 903 pair, which is these right up here. So what I have going, I don't know if you were with me at the beginning, but this is the mid and this is the side. And I recently did a video on mid side, and you split it out, and then it doesn't mess with your stereo image. It's pretty cool. So maybe we'll just kind of ease up on that compression. Okay. So I wonder if, see here, this going to this. I wonder if we can do any receive. I wonder if this makes any difference. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of compression going on. We could back this off, or, you know, just kind of back it off with the dry wet. sounding nice. You know, I don't exactly find this. I mean, it's usable for sure, but it's not exactly like doing anything extra that's like, oh wow, that's amazing. Um, I mean, I'm happy with what I have, so, but I'm curious. Like, I wonder if I just save the low end of this, what it would give me. Yeah, that sounds really nice. Means I could actually back off this a touch. Wonder if linear phase would help. Wow. That's just really nice. Hmm. I just want something even gentler, to be honest. Yeah, there we go. You know, we could duplicate this and where did where did that come from? Oh, I guess that's just something left over. Okay. But I want to actually do kind of one of these things. And then I want to go over here. There it is. I want to delay it by like 40 or 50, something like that. And I want to smash it. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not amazing necessarily. But it is cool. Okay, so this is the kind of thing we definitely want to do in context. I'm going to pull up the fatness of that snare. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. We don't really need a whole lot of that. That right mic, let's open that up a little bit. Yeah, so again, we have two Lewitt LCT 640 TS at the drum kit, kind of in a Glenn Johns kind of thing, and then I have the side mic here and the overhead mic, and they both sound pretty cool, like almost Omni. So please let the man do his work. I don't even know what you guys are talking about. Yes, yes, that sounds great. Wow. I'm gonna set up a snare mic for this, and you guys want some samples of this? Some of these sounds? I think they sound really nice. I can put a snare mic just to kind of make sure we're getting the whole snare, I guess. Maybe snare under even. I don't even know if I need the top. let's try, I don't know. We put a snare under. Tell you what, I'll let you decide, or help me decide. I'll let you hear it first. Okay. Are we using 13 for something? I don't know that we are. Okay, so 13. Yeah, I don't know that we need any more beef out of the snare. Like, we're so well in phase that kind of think we don't even need the top mic. I think we would be better served with it on the bottom. So, let's try that. Looks like the gain staging is okay. Okay. Yeah, today is really not my day for grooves, I guess. I mean, it's just I'm not really sure what to groove on, but yeah, I mean that's the snare top, but if I just kind of throw a mic up there, I think I could do both, but it's really the snare bottom I think is needed most. Okay, cool. Uh, yeah, I dig that. I wonder if the one mic is too close to the floor, but at the same time, it's like, do I really want to mess with it? This is the point where I tell the band, okay, why don't you just go in there and count to 4 and play the song? Man, I just love that. There's like a little bit of a roominess sound on that high tom. It sounds really cool. Yeah, so I wonder if there's a way I could adjust the mic so it's still equidistant from the snare and uh but just gives me a little bit less of that floor tom, I think. Okay. Uh So I kind of moved the mic a little bit. Man, I like that a lot. Sounds good. So let's maybe lay down a little bit and see what we get with the new setup here. Floor tom mic is moved out a little bit, or you could say back to the drummer's right, or back further to the drummer's side, you could say. So away from that ride cymbal, but it's still a equidistant movement. High passing a little higher. I'm not sure. Thanks, Robert. I'm not sure, Rick, what you mean by high passing. I don't. You know what? I don't even know that I have any high passing going on. You know. Oh, okay. So what I'm hearing is it's not about the low end. It's actually just the fact that the floor tom is like. It's actually the high end is just right in your face. Like, it's not about the low end of it necessarily. It's almost more about the high end actually. So I mean, I could high pass it, but yeah, like I just want to bring it a little closer to that high tom. Yeah, the high tom sounds freaking great. I mean, toms sound great in a room. You know, like they just work really well in a room. And I don't know what's going on to make it sound that good, but we have a soup of mics going on. That's the important part. Is that it's not just one mic. It's a additive process, an accumulation of different sounds. And if you think about it, you know, getting a good snare sound is the same thing. It's not just one mic; it's several mics at once. So yeah, let's give this a shot. This position. So are you guys hearing when I actually am playing? Are you guys hearing it, or are you not hearing it? Because it seems like it's all or nothing. Either you don't hear it, or you're getting doubled and you're getting these crazy things. I just wish I could figure out what's going on. Oh, yeah, that's nice. Okay, thanks guys for the input. I'll try to enable software monitoring to see how that works. But yeah. Well, so I was playing. I didn't realize I didn't bring the camera back to the control room. That was a playback. But I also had a live playback that you would have seen me actually in the room. Uh, yeah. So it's we got a question. So yeah, Jack. Uh, so yes, I record the mic outputs through a patch bay because yeah, as far as I know, it can handle it. Uh, it happens all the time where phantom power is going through a patch bay, but I leave the patches that carry phantom power on through, so they're not half normaling. So they're only going to go to the snake output is only going to go to the preamp that I specify, and I can visually see it. If you don't do that, you say, oh, let's use this preamp over here, this preamp, this snake to this preamp, and next thing you know, you have like some sort of mic that's on the line that you didn't know was on the line, and it's only on that preamp because you pulled something out and there's phantom power. And so yeah, you can damage mics pretty easily. So what I do is I just use through so that I can visually just see what's going on in the patch bay. And then of course the preamp output goes to the patch bay, and then I specify the output into the digital input. And if I want to, I can go first to outboard and then the digital input. But what I found is that if I just kind of load in an in-out plugin, or in this case Pipeline XT, and if I don't adjust the gain on the channel, I can actually dial in the compression and stuff. And then what I can do is patch it in, like before the digital input. And that allows me to set the compressor sitting in the room here, and not have to actually have somebody playing and then me be in here. Or like I've done it where I try to like set a camera up and like so I can see the compressor as I'm playing, and that just never worked. But if you don't touch the gain, then the gain coming in from your preamp is the same. Whether it's pre-recorded or not pre-recorded, it's going to be the same, and so it just hits the compressor at the same amount. So that's how I kind of do it. I don't have it right now. I just have it in-out plugins, and all the pre's go directly into the digital input. As far as I know, that's how it is. As far as the Lewitts, yeah, so there's the Lewitts LCT 640 TS, which is twin system. So we have 2 channels on each of the overheads, and they're going into these polarizer plugins so we can adjust the polar pattern of each of these 2 mics. They're in a kind of a Glenn Johns setup there. Glenn Johns just kind of lends me the opportunity to try out this idea that like maybe I can use the mics and get less or more of that floor tom on the one side and kind of better balance out the tonalities. And so I'm kind of using this as an EQ between over and the side mic. But to answer your question, we have a Soyuz 023. Yeah, so I'll just pass direct to my interface. Yeah. So Soyuz 023 kick front and a snare under mic, which is the M201 TG by Barry Dynamic, and then I have a Signal Art U47 out there in front of the kit, which isn't really doing a whole lot. I mean, I don't really need it, but the main thing is really the kick mic of the two overheads. That's really a lot of it. I can mute that. I could mute the snare under. Just kind of filling in a little bit of the snare beef right there. Yeah, it's just kind of filling in some of the low end there. I figured because it's at a distance, it might have a different perspective on the low end. Yeah, it's called the Polarizer plugin, and I mean anybody can download this plugin and use it to blend two sources, right? So what I've actually thought about doing is. It's a branded plugin by Lewitt, but you know, you can just go download. Anybody can just go and download the plugin and try it out. Of course, you need a mic that has two outputs. But what I've tried though is just any inputs, right? So I tried like you know, a couple different mics that were close together. Like two different mics to see if it would work, and it kind of worked, but not really. You know, so it's going to, you know, blend. You could think of this as like a blender of different sources and get really interesting effects. You know, like I could combine kick mics or something, you know, so this could be like your kick in and kick out, and then depending on what you do, it's like blending and shifting phase, and I don't know, you might get a happy accident basically using this in an incorrect way. It's made for the 640 TS, but really if you just pan a source left and then pan a source right, put this on a bus, it's going to blend those two sources and give you a mono output. So this is cool. You know, if you really want to try something, it's I would say overly complicated because it's just, I would say too much. But the plugin by Austrian Audio is doing the same thing. Let me see if but with this, we can actually split it into multiple bands. Then we have proximity control. So it gets complicated in a hurry, right? Um, and I'm sure that UAD has one of these as well because they have the L the L 22 sphere, uh, yeah, L22 sphere by Townsend Labs, and they have the emulation, the Soyuz 017 being one of them. Um, so really what it is it's just a combination, a blender of two sources. Um, it's a pretty cool technology. So out of the people that make them, I'll just kind of go over because we talked about the plugins, but obviously Lewitt makes a dual channel mic. L22 Sphere by Townsend Labs, that's another one. And then microphoneparts.com, that's another one. And that's like a kit you can make. And then it's just basically two channels, and you record both channels, same gain, and you mix and match and flip the polarity on the back, and you get different polar patterns. But you can download these plugins because they're kind of cool, I mean, I actually like the Lewitt a lot better than um, the SE818. But I tried it out with this, and it sounded very nice. But I just think I like the Lewitt a lot better. It was just, I don't know. I've heard some examples and they sound great, but in my own testing, it just seemed to lack the warmth that I want from an overhead. And at the same time, on vocals, it seemed overly dark, so I couldn't really tell like what is the mic bright, is the mic dark. It seemed to be kind of a chameleon. Um, the Lewitt just seems to be like a nice, clean low end. It's there, but it's kind of punchy, and the high end is really nice. It's a little bit elevated, but not too much. Okay. Yeah, Robert. Open source is kind of a way to think of it. These tools are here, and we can just kind of goof off with them. Yeah. So that sounds really cool. I definitely dig it. Kind of a lot going on. Got a little bit of outboard going on. The kick is going through this and this. Man, the 76A is really nice for low end sources. It just does not. It doesn't go like the low end just stays intact. Uh, then we have some 903s on the overheads. The successor as our drum bus compressor. So yeah, what you guys think so far? You guys got any questions? Yeah, that's true. I mean, Robert's saying that maybe the I assume the Glenn Johns is what you're referring to there. That it's more complicated. And yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'd say any drum setup is kind of complicated to get it right and all that. But um, specifically, what makes it hard though is that the mics are lower on the snare, one's higher up on the snare, one's lower on the kick, one's higher up on the kick. So it's like every instrument has two different types of tonalities going on. So it's just very hard to like get it to sound balanced, you could say. I'm going to I'm going to oh right. It's so hard to know what I'm even looking at. Okay, let me know if you guys can hear this. Hopefully it's not doubling. Okay, cool. Just deal with something here. Okay, so I don't know what else to do, but I think it's a pretty cool experiment. We played around with some stuff. I don't know why we're getting two audios. It's ridiculous. I don't know what's going on. Uh, but yeah, if you want to go, trying to think here. There you go. Me and my friend are setting up a Discord, so if you want to join that, feel free. I don't know where else to share the samples, but if you want the samples from today, let me know. So yeah, I gotta deal with something. So anyways, yeah, other than kind of being mildly annoyed at something, yeah, let me just I guess just wrap this up, but this is really cool. I actually recorded some of that just as kind of like a some footage and stuff of the experiment, but we have tons of stuff to talk about, mixing wise and stuff. Yeah, but the thing is I have input monitoring, but I don't have anything else on. Like my interface is not monitoring, like it's off. So there's nothing on. So I don't know where else it's coming from. Okay. So thanks guys. Yeah, go join the Discord. Or just hit me up an email, Ryan at creativesoundlab.tv, and I'll see if I can't reply back and get you the samples today if you want some of these drum samples. In the future, we'll figure out some sort of system for this kind of thing. Anyways, see you guys.